Do you ever feel stuck, even when the task is small, like your body freezes and starting feels harder than finishing? You're not alone. And there's a gentle way to break that cycle. Today, we'll explore the 1-minute rule, a simple wellness strategy that helps you start anything with ease. We procrastinate not because we're lazy, but because our brain avoids discomfort. Even tiny tasks can feel heavy when we attach pressure to them. The 1-minute rule invites you to pick one task you've been avoiding and do it for just 1 minute. No commitment, no pressure. Just 1 minute. That's it. It works because it lowers the friction. You remove the emotional weight of doing a task perfectly and shift your brain into motion. Starting becomes easier than avoiding. Pair your 1-minute action with a wellness cue, like one deep breath or one sip of water. You don't have to do everything. You just have to begin. This brings me to something wellness advocates get really excited about: micro habits. I know habits can sound like a huge commitment, but stick with me. It's not about grand gestures. It's about gentle beginnings. Micro habits focus on the power of small, consistent actions, not just the massive final outcome. So, tell me right here in the comments, what small tasks make you freeze? It feels like starting is harder than finishing. I'll say it again, you're not alone. And knowing that can be refreshing. I encourage you to explore the 1-minute rule. This simple wellness strategy can help you feel more at ease. Remember when I said that we procrastinate not because we're lazy, but because our brain avoids discomfort? And that even tiny tasks can feel heavy when we attach pressure or perfection. Changing perspective helps dissolve that long to-do list, the cluttered desk, or the inbox full of unread emails. Our brain, in an effort to protect us from this perceived threat, opts for the path of least resistance, avoidance. This freeze response is a primal instinct, a way of conserving energy and steering clear of negative feelings like overwhelm, anxiety, or the self-criticism that often follows an imperfect attempt. We build the task up in our minds until it becomes a monumental mountain, when in reality, it's just a small stone in our path. The weight isn't in the action itself, but in the emotional baggage we've attached to it. They don't just represent tasks, they represent decisions and potential for failure. Recognizing this is the first step toward releasing that pressure and approaching our goals with more kindness and less resistance. It's about understanding that the friction is internal, a story we tell ourselves, and not an inherent quality of the task at hand. The 1-minute rule invites you to pick one task you've been avoiding, and do it for just 1 minute. New commitment, no pressure. 1 minute, that's it. Think about that one thing on your list that keeps getting pushed to tomorrow. Instead of telling yourself you have to complete the entire thing, just commit to a single minute of effort. This could mean writing just one sentence of that report you've been dreading. It could be tidying one single item from your desk, like putting a book back on the shelf or throwing away a stray wrapper. Perhaps it's replying to one simple message that's been lingering in your inbox, or even just opening the app to see it. It can be a moment of self-care, like stretching for 1 minute when you feel stiff, or reading just one paragraph from a book you've wanted to start. The goal isn't to finish. The goal is simply to begin by setting the barrier to entry so incredibly low, you trick your brain into action. A single minute feels manageable, almost trivial, and it bypasses the brain's natural alarm system that screams, "This is too much." It's a gentle nudge, a quiet invitation to just start. It works because it lowers friction. You remove the emotional weight of doing a task perfectly and shift your brain into motion. Starting becomes easier than avoiding. And once you begin, momentum takes over. This simple act of beginning, even for 60 seconds, triggers a cascade of positive psychological effects. First, it directly counteracts the paralysis of perfectionism. You're not aiming for a flawless outcome, you're just putting in a minute of effort. This release from high expectations makes the task feel instantly lighter and more approachable. Second, taking action, no matter how small, can release a small burst of dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with reward and motivation. Your brain registers this as a small win, creating a positive feedback loop that makes you more likely to continue. This is the power of momentum. An object in motion stays in motion, and the same principle applies to our productivity and well-being. That first minute breaks the inertia of procrastination. Suddenly, you're not the person who is avoiding the task. You are the person who has started it. This subtle shift in identity is incredibly powerful and often gives you the energy and confidence to continue for another minute, and then another, until the task that once seemed impossible is well underway or even complete. Save this tip. I'll repeat it for you. Pair your 1-minute action with a wellness cue. 1 deep breath, 1 sip of water, 1 gentle stretch, 1 moment of gratitude. These micro-habits make starting feel grounding and supportive. The idea is to weave these tiny actions into a ritual that nourishes your mind and body, transforming a moment of potential stress into an opportunity for. Before you start your 1-minute task, take a single, slow, deep breath, feeling your lungs expand and your shoulders relax. This signals to your nervous system that you are safe and in control. As you sit down to work, have a glass of water nearby and take 1 deliberate sip, a simple act of hydration that connects you to your physical needs. If you've been sitting for a while, incorporate 1 gentle stretch or your arms overhead or roll your neck to release physical tension. And when your minute is up, regardless of how much you accomplished, take a moment for 1 thought of gratitude. Be thankful that you started, that you showed up for yourself. By anchoring your tasks with these wellness cues, you are fundamentally changing your relationship with work and effort. It stops being about forcing yourself to do something and starts being about supporting yourself through the process. You don't have to do everything. You just have to begin. Start softly. Start small. Start with 1 minute. Tell me in the comments your success story. Let's celebrate together. Now, take the extra minute and subscribe to ImagIBnation, sharing this video with your dear ones. See you next time.